Hey guys, Drifter here. We are back in Call of Duty land because I want to talk about Infinity Ward's brand new DMZ mode, which was just revealed a few days ago. They invited a ton of streamers out to play, and from everything that I've saw, it's looking pretty rough. We're going to be negative today, so buckle up for that one. It looks like Plunder 2.0, maybe baby's first Tarkov. It looks like a brushed up version of Battlefield 2042 Hazard Zone. I am not impressed, and the gameplay that you're seeing right now is actually gameplay from Teep's watch party, where he streamed watching other people play the reveal to more views than many of them had. That's what I watched. That's where I got my primary information from. We'll show like 30 seconds to a minute of that before we move back to regular multiplayer and I get accused of stealing gameplay. So, in case you're one of 12 people that live in a cave under the sea and you didn't see this, basically you deploy into the Warzone 2 map. Instead of parachuting in, you just kind of spawn in down there on the ground. You run around, you loot like crazy. There's money, there's chests, there's crates, there's computer files, all sorts of like random scraps around that you can pick up. And you can complete objectives in order to be rewarded. To plant this bomb, defuse this bomb, hold an objective, just little things that they could easily replicate from multiplayer. Eventually you get better armor and better guns, and then you can spend some of your money on in-game upgrades to your armor and guns. And when you're satisfied with what you've got, you start an exfil operation, an exfil on a chopper, leaving to take out all the stuff that you managed to plunder or acquire. Now what's interesting about this is that the guns that you take out of this mode can be brought back in, and that's the only way to bring guns back in. So there's a risk there. If you bring your favorite gun, you might lose it and then have to re-scavenge it in the next game if you die, because when you die, that all goes bye-bye. You can bring your armor plate satchels and stuff with you, so I think you come back in with 2 or 3 to start with, which is pretty rare. But ultimately, the vast majority of your money, your loot, the things you pick up, duplicates, etc., are all converted into experience points at the end of the game. And quite a lot of them. Just a side note here, there was an insane amount of XP going on in this game, so it looks like a great one for leveling things up. So not only can you do that, but also you can bring out, I think it's some 2 XP and some 2 weapon XP tokens that work in all modes, which is pretty great. I don't see why you couldn't use them in DMZ. And that's interesting in a way. There's a way to get those tokens. There's a way to get XP. The XP ultimately is going to be kind of useless when you prestige or hit max level, or if you even care about that. And your primary enemies in this mode are tons of AI that are all over the map. There are enemy teams, we'll get to that in a moment, but you're going to spend 95% of your time fighting very aggressive AI. These things have no mercy. They lock onto you, they'll get 5 headshots in a row, auto-aim, super aggressive juggernauts. It's kind of like chaos mode, or kind of like the co-op mode from Modern Warfare 2019. You will be constantly taking down wave after wave of AI, and they'll pretty much Shrek you if you sit still very long. There are enemy teams running around the map. I actually don't know how many as of yet. I do know that you won't see very many real human enemies. The vast majority of your combat is going to be against AI. And when you do see enemy teams, it's a little bit difficult to tell who's human and who's not. Usually enemy teams come to try to steal your objectives or blow you up on an exfil chopper as you're leaving to steal your loot. Sometimes AI does that too. So after just watching the gameplay and trying to learn as much as possible, my judgment on this mode as a pleb who did not get invited out and did not get a chance to play it himself is it reminds me of a more fun version of Plunder. Now, I really genuinely hated Plunder in Warzone as it stands, or Modern Warfare 2019. I found it repetitive, boring. People are just parachuting on top of you all the time. It's like shipment on a big scale, and I'm just not here for that. I know some of you guys love that, and I think that you're going to get a better version of that from DMZ, because you're pretty much going to land in and hunt AI. It's going to be constant chaos. You're going to be fighting. You're going to be farming. I think the mode's going to be really good for warm-ups. I think it's going to be really good for map exploration. I think it's going to be insane for XP farming, weapon leveling, token farming, and stuff like that, and probably quite popular amongst casual gamers. But for me, I noticed 2 immediate problems that are going to make it very unfun. Number 1 is that the vast majority of your loot and money just turns into experience. You can't risk that much cool stuff. To the best of my knowledge, it's just your primary weapon and your satchel, and if you lose them, you can just scavenge them again in the next game or 2, and none of them are like insanely rare. It's not like these things in Tarkov where you have to go weeks and months to try to get them. They're relatively easy to get. You also can't even buy anything with the money you earn in game. If you, well, you can buy like UAVs and stuff from the buy stations, but what I mean is if you exfil and take that giant wad of cash with you, it just turns into more experience, which is great for leveling and great if you're going for Prestige Master. But me personally, once I've prestiged once, I generally don't care to do that and just grind XP. It turns into Destiny at that point, and that's one of the reasons I don't play Destiny. So the most of my rewards just get turned into XP, which is useless, and I was not able, this may change, but I was not able to see any ultra rare things. There were no unique weapons you can only acquire in this mode. There were no unique skins or camos, or like really like I would have to grind this game for like a month and do something really hard and complicated and come out with this ultra cool Mastercraft whatever that I can take into regular multiplayer. I didn't see any such things, which to me means that this mode has no stakes at all. You can just load in with your basic guns, run around, kill bots, exfil over and over and over to farm XP and like weapon experience and stuff. And if you lose, you really haven't lost that too much, which is kind of the exact opposite of Tarkov. What makes games like Tarkov and DayZ and these really hyper-realistic looter shooters popular is that it does take a time investment to get the good toys. It takes a strategy to come out with something that gives you an advantage over somebody else, and you can lose it all. You can sweat for a month to try to do something really cool and totally fail. And that is very annoying for a lot of gamers, but it's also kind of addicting because that one win you get is going to feel 10 times better than all those losses combined, and you're going to go right back in to do it again like a slot machine. At least that's how I am when the stakes are high. And with no stakes, there's no reason to do that and no reason for me to play this mode other than that I just want to run over a bunch of AI in my car or something like that. The next thing is that the AI is hyper aggressive, unrealistically, absurdly so. They don't really move like normal human players. And no matter what game it is that I play where the primary enemies are AI, I literally never have fun. I do not have fun in Destiny. I don't have fun in that Overwatch thing that they had a couple of years ago. I guess it'll be the same thing whenever they release the campaign next year. Titanfall 1 and 2 were very disappointing when it came to killing AI instead of humans. It's one of the primary reasons I didn't play Titanfall 2 that much, because most of the people I fought were just AI, which I found to be painfully boring, though one of the developers of that game did come back for this one, so maybe they brought some ideas over. And you can't even tell the AI apart from regular people that well until you're close to them. You usually don't know you're fighting a real squad until you've downed somebody and you see an actual name pop up. And again, I just don't care to farm AI all day. If I wanted to do that, I would go play Destiny, which is an AI farming game. I would go play Borderlands or something like that. That's a whole genre that people love, but I don't know why they keep trying to force that into a more strict multiplayer setting. I think it's just for casuals. I think that this game mode is literally designed for the casual gamer to load in, mostly fight not real people, feel satisfied that they've done something, got some XP, leveled a bit, and they get out. Maybe warm-ups or something like that. That's really all this mode is for. And for me, that's boring. I prefer stakes, I prefer high risk, I prefer being actually rewarded for doing things, or at the very least, I prefer killing real people because they scream and make noises and unpredictable decisions. It's satisfying to ruin somebody's day versus the bot. It's there for you to kill it. That's its purpose. So yeah, I think that they probably developed this mode for casuals. And the leaks that came out ages ago saw this thing of like DMZ and take loot out. And immediately, in order to get clicks and views, the leakers were like, it's Tarkov. It's Tarkov. It's the new Tarkov mode. And unfortunately, the leaks kind of mismarketed this mode when in reality, it's almost nothing like Tarkov, but is more like a less casual version of Plunder. If you were a Plunder fan but felt that it got a little bit repetitive, this is probably going to be a much better version of that. And honestly, it looks better than Plunder. This looks like something I would play a little bit, maybe for warm-ups and stuff. Plunder, I didn't play at all. I literally hated Plunder. I despised it. I remember I had a tweet go viral one time where I talked about how much I hated Plunder, and I got flamed by like thousands of people all the way down. This looks like a better Plunder, so that's good, but unless they add real stakes, I'm probably just not going to play it. I want to really win something when I win a game. And that's kind of the moral of today's story. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you learned something useful. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.